Hey Book Club, Dan here from One Man Book Club. I'm glad that you're with me today because I want to give you a warning about a popular series that I think is a total bait and switch series. I'm super disgusted, super frustrated by what I found in this series called Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Now this is book one. And when I started reading this series, it was super fun. I recommended it to so many people. It's published by Bloomsbury and it's marketed to children and teenagers. It's published by their Children and Teenagers imprint. And for the first few books of this series, totally cool. It's super, super fun. It's centered around a teenage assassin. She's totally awesome. She discovers she's really a long-lost princess and she has killer magical abilities, which turns her into an awesome teenage magical princess assassin. She has to accept who she is, she has to take control of her lost kingdom, and she has to rid the world of all the bad guys and save all the good guys, which is super, super cool and super fun. And it started off that way, and I loved reading it. And like I said, I loved recommending it. But as the series progressed, the language in the series in each subsequent book got stronger. The relationships got edgier. The writing got worse. The story used to be told from the point of view of one or two, sometimes three characters, which is a great way to tell the story. But by the fifth book, the narrative shifts between 8 characters, and that's just not fun. That's actually ridiculous. And in fact, the cool story takes its back seat to those 8 characters describing all of their smoldering, angsty, unwarranted, unnecessary, Edward embellish-ish, unsuppressed attraction to each other. Which, okay, fine. Maybe I left the target demographic for this series at some point along the way. I get it. That's fine. But the children it's marketed to also got left behind because as these books progressed, by the time we got to book 5, I suddenly was reading pornography. That was graphic sex, just out of nowhere in book 5. And I won't go into the details, but I was like reading along and I got to this part. It's at 51% in book 5. And I was like, oh crap. And I shut the book and I didn't go any further. I haven't read more of the series past 51% of book 5. But this is a series marketed for teenagers that has pornography in it. Now, it's a fun PG-rated story for the first, say, 2 or 3 books. And then once we get to book 4, it starts feeling a little bit more PG-13 because the language gets up. And then, like I told you what we got in book 5. And I was super frustrated because the first books are clean and exciting enough that I was recommending them to my own kids, to my friends and their kids. But by the time it got to book 5, it was just pornography, and I was super, super frustrated. I wanted to warn everyone about that so you would know as well. And it's still marketed to kids. Book 5 in this series is published under the Bloomsbury imprint for children, and you can find it in school libraries. Anyway, super frustrating. This is why I do what I do. I want to make sure that no one goes into reading any books without knowing what content they're going to find inside. And especially watch out if your children want to read the books. They start off good, but by the time they get to later in the series, completely inappropriate for children. So I do not recommend the Throne of Glass series. I hope you go pick something else awesome. Happy reading, everyone.